Well, good morning from Tokyo, good evening in Bermuda, and welcome to another edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and joining me are co-hosts Dean Miners and Andre Doc Manders, as well as the victorious Somerset Cricket Club Vice Captain Taryn Frey, and the assistant coach with the Somerset team, Mr. Jacoby Robinson. Well, first of all, let me get to the co-host. Obviously, Dean and Doc, front row seats at the annual Cup Match Classic. Congratulations to the Somerset Cricket Club for yet another victory. We won't even talk about what Jacobus got up there. But Doc, give us your opinion on the 2 days.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna give up St. George's for having it. Yeah. Remember, we talked earlier in the shows before, we were skeptical about the protocols and this and that. But I think over the 2 days, it was pretty well organized. Apart from the rain delays and stuff, but I gotta give up to St. George. But I think over the 2 days, Somerset played the better cricket to me. It was rain the first day, which kind of hindered the game itself. And I think St. George's with the game plan, I don't know, with the rain, they probably had some other ideas. But Somerset, like you said, over the 2 days was about as I.
On the Wi-Fi, please.
Yeah. What about you, Dean?
Good evening, Earl. How you doing this evening, man?
I'm all right.
Also, congratulations and definitely congratulations to Jacoby and his backroom staff, as well as Taryn for leading Somerset the way that he did in the absence of Jordan. But over the 2 days, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just as Doc said, with the rain interruptions and things like that on day one, I still felt that the players equipped themselves, pretty good to handle what they had to deal with, But it was a good 2 days. It was a good 2 days overall. It was a good 2 days of cricket.
Right. Well, let's get right to it. Jacoby, you guys came in with a game plan from the coaching staff, as well as making sure that the captain and vice captain executed along with the players. Would you say the game plan worked to perfection, or did it alter throughout the game?
Yeah, we always go into the game to win, right? Obviously, the rain played a big part, and St. George's Declare played a big part. So once them things happened, then we was able to set the turn, from there. We let them make all the decisions. You have to come get the cup. So you make the decisions, and we'll follow. And we'll counteract whatever you come up with.
And Taryn, obviously, at the end of it all, you guys are victorious yet again. Looking at the overall team performance, how do you evaluate this year's victory as opposed to years going by?
I just think for us it was like Kirby said, we always come into the match looking to win. But some of the things we had talked about wasn't all around winning per se. We talked about one winning. We also talked about trying to break certain records in cup match for a betting side. And everyone knew our standpoint, about 2 months ago, and that was not to play initially as a team. We took a lot of backlash from the public and in that decision, that initial decision. So when the decision was made that we were gonna play, there was a lot of talks around, okay, what can we do? What goals can we achieve ourselves as a team? Not necessarily around actually winning cup match. So for this year, when it turned out that, okay, now it's a chance for us to give them a 2-1 in St. George's. Those types of talks was happening only after the first day. So for us, winning this year, it is a little bit different from the past in that we didn't come out saying, okay, let's just go down there and beat these guys as bad as we can. It was more or less, okay, what goals can we set for ourselves and what can we better this year for cup match in our team, bringing certain guys that hadn't played. Trey came back into the side this year. Kamal came back in. this year, so it was a different look team from the last time we played a cup match. So those were some of the things we were talking about. So I wouldn't say that it feels the same to me winning. It was a little bit different because we didn't come out with that mentality that we're gonna win. Right, this year. I think we was thinking more holistically about what we wanted to achieve as a club.
Dean?
Yeah, Jacoby. I have a question for Jacoby and a question for Taryn. Kobe, when you had, because I think this year was probably your strongest team, right? When you had to bring back Kumar Labrock into the team and you had to bring back Trey Manderson to the team, was that I mean just a big adjustment because we hadn't played cricket for a period of time, but what did you have to do as a coaching staff? Because those guys are, well, Trey's of a smaller personality, but Kumar has a bigger personality. How did that fit into your whole scheme?
Wow, Kumal's been a part of the program since 2011, I guess, or 2009. I can't really remember. 2011. So he knows what the expectations are.
Okay.
From the coach, from the head coach, from myself. Obviously, we'll play it together. So, and Trey, obviously, he just slips his way back in without anybody even noticing him. That is, Trey wasn't there last year, like so.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate sometimes that we have to leave out guys, but guess what? We're leaving out guys that are in their early 20s. So, at some point, you see them again, and we still have youth to pick from. So it's not too much that we're gonna deal with. It ain't really egos or so we're gonna deal with because we had set a standard from when my uncle came in 2012, and that standard remained the whole time. So it's just if you were somebody new now, then you will have to learn the way. Like these guys are everyday players and playing for Somerset. These guys have got 7, 8, 9, 10 cup matches on the belt, and they're only 25, 26, 27, 28. Like, so we got time to go before we have to change it up,
Taryn, for you, I know there are times during cup match that you have, I would say, marshaled the team. And this particular cup match here was more, I think you had more of an extension. What was that experience like for that period of time because of, Jordan not being able to, be on the field of play, but you had to practically everything was in your hands. How did you feel?
To be honest, I try to remain calm as best as I could. At times, you start to overthink a little bit on what you can do, what you could have done. But in reality, it's somewhat easy, I would say, because you have so many good players around you that you don't tend to worry too long or too much. But like I said in my speech down St. George's, I have the backing of these guys. They believe in me. They trust in me. And I think that's the biggest thing is the respect that they have for me as a cricketer. I captain my club team. This will be the second full season now that I'm captain my club team. So I'm starting to get a lot more experience. And when it comes to cup match now, I feel like open format cricket is my preferred format of cricket. And I try to pay attention and watch as much as the game. Like Kirby would tell you that I'm the type of guy I sit there, I don't have my phone out, I'm watching the cricket game. You know what I'm saying? I don't walk around the field. Guy, everyone has their own ways of playing the game, and I respect everyone's way of how they do it. But that's not my style. I sit there and I analyze, and I'm trying to see every little detail. So for me, I wouldn't say it wasn't difficult. There were difficult moments, but it wasn't difficult, and I owe that to the players because these guys, like I said, they come prepared. If we have a plan, like you said, if we have a plan, we try to execute and stick to it. Coach asks us to do certain things, we try to stick to it. And it's not just on the field stuff; it's off the field stuff also. It's coming to practice and being on time. It's things like that. Discipline at the end of the day, and I think that is the biggest part that players in Somerset's team. I feel like everyone is disciplined. So that makes it a lot easier when everyone's on that same page.
Doc?
Now, Kirby, when you guys found out it was cup match, right? I know I spoke to Jeff briefly. Um, being that the format this year was 2020. How did you guys get those guys ready, in time? Because we was all talking about like St. George's had a few trials and Somerset didn't have any. But then when you look at then you look at the final trial, I mean a lot of senior batsmen still didn't get no runs because one team got 47, the other team. So how did you get these guys prepared the 2 days in that short a period of time? It's gotta be a mental thing too.
Again, it comes down to the experience of these players. These guys have played a lot of cup matches, so they know what's expected. Yes, it's time to train that you need to pull a guy aside and say, hey, listen, you're playing too much away from your body, or you need to get forward a little bit more because you're in that 2020 mindset. But with like I said, the experience, guys are able to switch it from T20 to cup match, right? And we just have to trust that what we're doing as coaches and the plans that we put together, they buy into, which they always do. And they are not challenging us as coaches on our decisions and what we're asked to do. They're buying in, they're taking the information in. And if they do have some type of issues, it's coming to the coach and saying, listen, I feel X, Y, and Z. Like, for instance, Chris Douglas, a guy, he might challenge you, not because you got the right answer. He just wants to know why. So that in itself makes me know that these guys are still thinking about what they're going to do. So that was never, it was an issue, but again, we have to respect the experience that these guys have.
Yeah. I want to ask a quick question with the batting lineup. Taryn, as the captain of the you've batted yourself down the order. Obviously, Kamal's been batting early order for Somerset. The thought process of the batting order for you guys. How did that play out prior to the game? Because obviously, you get comfortable in a position that you normally bat in, and now you're going up to open.
Yeah, I think with Somerset, when it comes to the batting order, it was never something that was actually spoke about. I feel like everyone knows the positions and the roles that we play. Kamal, with all due respect, I think he knows that coming into cup match, he would have batted in that 5-6 position because that's where he will bat for cup match. But yeah, like with me and batting, I bat at number 4 for Bayless Bay because I feel like I'm best suited in that position in T20 for Bayless Bay. If it was a 50 over match, I probably wouldn't bat at number 4 for Bayless Bay. But with that being said, yeah, that was for us. It was a no-brainer. We'll have the same batting lineup now for how long, Kirby? Since 2012.
12.
Yeah,
like 10 years.
Yeah, that is. I don't think that's an issue. I don't think no one has an issue with where they're batting in the team. Yeah, I think Kamal can bat anywhere. He can bat at 1 or he can bat at 6. I don't really think he minds too tough where he bats, because he can do any one of those jobs. But we do have our staple batsman. Like, no one's moving Trey. Trey is never gonna move from number 3. You know what I'm saying? That's his position. That's where he is successful. Same with Dion Stubble. He bats number 5 and he does a brilliant job at batting number 5 for Rangers and for Somerset. So, yeah, for us, I just think it's something that I don't even think that was ever even thought about. Kirby could probably tell me something different, but from my side, yeah, we knew the batting order last year.
But it's one of those things that I've noticed, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but Chris Douglas in St. George's has had some remarkable knocks, getting Somerset off to some good starts. Watching him play this time around, especially in the afternoon on the first day, what was that like for you guys to sit back and watch, Kirby?
If any of you, well, all of you guys know Chris, you know what I mean? So it's special to see somebody. You know how superstitious sports can be. He's a guy that would pick up Dean's bed, Doc's gloves, Fran's pads,
That's right,
and go out there and score 100. and feel and when he comes off, it's like, okay, he's not happy, he's not over the top. He just knows what he's gotta do and he just carries on with it. And it's fun to watch him bet. Like it's amazing to see the quality that he has. And you see that it's so much more in there to come out. But how can we test him? How can we take him to the next level? You know, how can we get the best out of Chris Douglas? And again, you just have to. This is sometimes you have to bend because we have rules. You know, and Frey showed me something over cup match. We have to let Chris be Chris. You know, as important as it is as a coach, we have to manage. Is just important as the actual drills. So the way that we manage Chris is a key to his success. You know, you can't keep him in a little bubble. You can't. He's a guy that can't keep still. Mm-hmm. So if we keep being buckled on and you sit there, you don't move and you don't this and you don't that, you're not gonna get that 128. Yeah. So we have to give a little bit to get some. You know, no, you can't go over the top with it. But again, he's got the experience and he knows what he can and cannot do.
I think one of the things a lot of people misunderstand him as a young man in his mannerism, in the way he goes about things. Like you said, although he got an answer, he wants to know why. So he's going to ask and maybe ask again because he wants to be sure in his mind what you're saying now resonates with him, kind of thing. And a lot of people take it as arrogance or rudeness or disrespectful, you know, and what has happened over his career is he's been locked out of a lot of things because they try to stop him from, as you say, being Chris.
Yeah. Correct. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. And it's just we are not able. Let's say as a country, you know, when it comes to the national level, have we bought the best out of Chris? We're seeing it in spurts, but have we managed him the way he needs to be managed? Yeah. And it's not even an ego thing,
right?
Yeah. Nothing to do with egos.
Yeah.
Well, you know, most left-handers are misunderstood. I mean, they're pretty batsmen, right? But most left.
You talking from experience?
Wow, but it's
whatever. No, I'm just saying. You know, when you go back to Brian Lara, what happened? When you go back to Brian Lara, you know, Leon Blake, you know, a lot of these guys scored.
Richard Pearson.
I'm telling you, they're pretty to watch, but they're a little bit misunderstood. It happens.
I guess.
You know, but in all honesty, his knock and with Trey, you can actually see, and you guys would agree, you could actually see them thinking. Those guys are thinkers of the game. But Chris's knock, it was almost like it was well paced. It was well dissected. It was everything about it was just that you could see the great thought process behind it. And then for Trey to come here when he did, and I've always been surprised by Trey's thinking, but he played a supporting role. And the supporting role that he played, he just set up. He didn't take anything from him. He just supported it. So just the communication was amazing between the both of them.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because after the first day's play, it's like Trey had came to me and said, listen, I'm just going to help Chris get to where he needs to get to. But at 50, it's showtime. I said, okay, kid. All right. Good to being there. I guess Showtime came a little too early for him. He needed to hold up a little bit more before Showtime. Because that was the only rash shot that he played. And he's been in between 2 months because he was saying, I should have went through with it and started checking it. And that's because he's thinking about his partner. You know, not himself. So, you know, I have no problem with that, man. Really,
I have a question for Karen. Oh, sorry.
No, on Chris and Trey, you got to remember those two guys have been betting together again since 2012 too.
That's true.
And Trey has been first with Chris. So you know they got that continuity even with Taryn and Chris bet. Taryn and Trey bet scored together too. Now with Stevie left, they got LJ. So, and LJ got a good job, and Trey got out too, because they got a partnership too.
Yeah.
So that top four, it seems like pretty well, steady for at least another 5, maybe total 5-6 years, unless one of them get hurt or anything. Whereas the St. George's team are not chopping and changing too much. Somerset team, I'm not sure why. You need that continuity. You run in between the wickets, if those two will go with. They trust each other. Him and Taryn, no matter who gets out first. If Chris gets out first, Taryn will be back with Trey. They know each other. Chris and Trey know each other. Now, anything if LJ is new, LJ is just getting in there now, so he's going to be with these guys too. So it's going to be hard. And then you got, like Jordan said, like Baby said, you got Dion, number 4 or 5 coming in. Then you got Jordan. The first 6, then you got Kamal too. So that first 5-6 batsmen, it looked really solid.
What do you mean? We guys got to score 100, batting 11.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. So Taryn, I got a question for you. What is the difference? 2 questions. What is the difference in playing at Somerset and and then coming to St. George's? We know that Somerset's home and everything like that. What is the feeling like for you as a batsman? You're going to the wicket at Somerset, you're going to the wicket at St. George's. Like, what is, because some players say I have a better preference in playing away from home than I do home. What is it like for you?
For me, I don't really think about that too much. I'm not really the type of person when it comes to wickets and stuff, especially like in cup match. I try not to think about the wickets too much and what the wicket might play like, or ask how the wicket's playing. At my home club, I ask all the time, how's the wicket playing? That's where you're playing majority of your cricket.
Right.
You wanna be at tip-top shape at your home club. But when it comes to cup match, I try not to think about that too much, because I feel like that's just a distraction. But I would say that I do feel more comfortable batting up Somerset. I don't know. I think they have probably the best ground in Bermuda. I've always thought that. So it is a very nice, confident feeling when you go to bat up there. You don't really have to worry about too much external factors. Just your own game. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I prepare myself the same way for every match. And something like that. When it comes to cup match, I try not to overthink about things like where I'm playing, or what fans might be there, or what the atmosphere might be like. The atmosphere was a lot different this year. I think it was probably only one horn ringing off on the first ball. I wasn't used to that. Normally, you have about 100 horns again at the same time. So that was a little bit different. Right. But yeah, it's a good feeling walking out there at the start of the match. That's for sure. I think
it comes down to, it's different if you got the cup or if you're not got the cup. I played my early parts of my cup were without the cup, and I used to love to play in St. George's for some reason, I don't know. And I played for some reason, but I used to have my better cup matches. I don't know if it's because of the battle, like
Right.
Like the battle was a lot greater, and the pressure was a lot more in St. George's, and I used to like that. I like to be uncomfortable. When I'm in Somerset, I'm a little comfortable. Yeah. So you don't tend to worry as much. When I am at St. George's now, I tend to focus in, tune in, and that's my battle cup match. I've got majority of my wickets. I've got a lot of my runs in St. George's. So I think it depends on if you got the cup wicket, if you don't have it.
Before you ask your next question, Dean, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have more with almost 2-1 in Jacoby Robinson and Somerset Vice Captain Taryn Frey. We'll be right back.
Spring has sprung, and it's time for the Friends of Hospice Butterfly Blast annual raffle. The butterflies are emerging bigger and better than before this year, and there's over $40,000 worth of prizes to make things more exciting. 3 Caterpillar raffles containing $1,000 gift certificates leading up to the main draw. There are multiple chances to win, so buy early and increase your odds of winning. So spring into action and get yours today. Check our Facebook page, Friends of Hospice Bermuda, for details, or call 232-0859. Lynn knows. Why go anyplace else?
Dean, you said you had two questions. Terrence just popped out a quick sec. He should be back shortly, but you had another question?
Okay. Yeah, the other question that I actually had was, Jacoby, when teams are on top, and which, we look at Somerset, they're on top right now. Where do you see room for growth? What growth do you actually see? Or is there anything that you might, we don't have it,
Yeah, I would say what we do have, where we can get better, is starting our cup matches. We have
Okay.
not started a good cup match, meaning the first day
Okay.
before lunch. It seems like we're always not building the right areas, building both sides of the wicket. As you can see, early in the cup match, we did not build good at all. And for Jordan's fans, like, yeah, we're coming. The Indies, we're coming. This is, you heard the little noises. I'm not gonna go the name. Little noise. That's why we better for us. All that type of stuff happening because we wasn't disciplined,
Right.
and it teed me off because we worked on this consistently over and over and over and over on what's expected of the opening session, whether it be building the right areas, team being up for it. Them two things was none of what it was not happening before the first water break. So Jordan's on top of us, we is flat. Like I said, building both sides. You didn't feel like the builders had that oomph in them. For like a Malachi Jones, for instance, his structure for that 50 wickets, yeah, expect him to be up for it. And yes, look, I'm running in today and this, and it just wasn't there, until after the water break, the conversation had, and guys are back into the normal thing. So I think we have to get better at starting better, and putting these guys to bed early, and that would be my only thing. But the hardest thing is going to happen moving forward is if we ever have to take out to bring in somebody new. That's going to be a challenge. But the good thing about it is we have whoever comes in new, we'll have the senior players around them to guide them. So Algiers came in, and it looks like he's been there all this time. You will say, yeah, Algiers been a part of this team all this time. It's not when myself and Gennaro left. It wasn't like it was a void missing. We just filled that spot with a Dion Starvel and a Kamal Levrock. Can you get any better than that?
Yeah.
You're not missing any. So we have to do the same thing when a Dion Starvel leaves. We have to now put whoever that's going to be right there and make sure that they're ready.
Taryn, as a captain, where do you see that growth? Where do you see that Somerset could even grow even further?
I just think that for Somerset going forward, and like you said, trying to get to another level, it'll be interesting, like Kirby said, to see what the changes will be in the future, because there will be changes eventually. I don't know. It's hard because the team's been so successful in the last 9 years. What's it been? 5 wins and 4 draws in the last 9 years. I guess the only thing you can say, like, the growth is now is like I told you guys, it's like we're in a position now where it's I don't want to say it like this, but we're almost dictating the game. Like Somerset is dictating the way how, like, we can decide whether we want to win or if we want to go out there and score 450 or 500. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the things that we're talking about. So I think for Somerset in trying to elevate and trying to adapt, elevate and adapt. Shout out to the president. To like elevate. I just think that it's more or less, like I said before, like really setting goals that are obtainable but also challenging for the team, and using it like that, because we're in a very, very great position up Somerset right now to make a decision of however we want to go about it. Like, do we want to try and win outright for the next 5 years? Now, there are a lot of things that affect that. The weather might affect it, but those are some of the things that I think the club should be looking at. It's like real life goals, like and expectations for the club when it comes around cup match. You know, and how can they make cup match bigger and better at their own ground? You know, with less to do about cricket and more to do with marketing and things like that. Like, you know, using the locals and how can the club elevate itself to those type of avenues? I don't know. That's a question for probably someone else.
It's
But,
gonna be something, especially when I'm interested and I'm excited to see. Not to say that I will be the next coach or something. When my uncle Doris finish and what that looks like. You know, that's gonna be key. You know, that's gonna be something. That's gonna be a testing time for us. What will we do then?
Well, we have a quick question, but I'm going to have to ask Doc and Jacoby as two former captains, and at the time there were times where you didn't have the cup. But the question is, well, we can't ask in Georgia because they're not on. Does discussions take place between coaches, captains, etc., beforehand about when a team might declare? When you guys were challengers, there were times where you had to be in a position whether you were thinking to declare or not. But how do those discussions go?
It actually depends on the day. Like, I mean, you know, first of all, it's got to be if you're betting first, you know, and then you got to look at a lot of things, you know. So let's say you're betting first, and you score a big total, like 300 or 400, and then you try to get him in. I'm just saying lunchtime. Normally that don't happen, or before tea, because you always try to get wickets before, you know, before tea or before the end. So a declaration, especially when if you got the trophy, sometimes you don't even have to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm learning to go on that from my experience being not having the trophy, like I'm declaring. You know, I would try to give myself my bowlers a time to bowl them out in a certain period, and we all meet, you know, coach, captain, and basically that maybe another senior player, maybe the vice captain, and we decide then, you know, and which mind you, when you do that, you're going to make sure your bowlers are ready too. That makes sense declaring, and your bowlers are walking around the field, or your bowlers not want, you know what I mean? It's certain things you have to do, you know, before you do that declaration. But it's the whole team, everybody's involved with that.
Kirby, you would say the same?
Yeah, pretty much. But when I was captain, we didn't have the cup either, right? And it was a lot of. I've done that many a times declaring. But what I boiled down to is not to do with overs and all that. It's time. You know, breaking down the time, how much water breaks, how long it takes for a guy to get from the wicket to out there. How much time do we really have in these 17 hours of cup match? Is it really 17 hours? No. So there you really have to break it down into, like I said, sessions and don't worry about the time, like the longer time. So, for instance, like St. George's, for instance, they declared because of, I'm assuming they're declaring because they wanted more time to bowl at Somerset. And it didn't matter what score they had at that particular time, they was coming regardless. So that's what it looked like. So that's how you got to win the cup. You have to pick a time to declare because you can't bet forever. But I don't know if St. George's really watched what's going on. Like, what had victories, 5 victories, right? In the last 9 years. And even before then, how many teams win cup match betting first?
Not many.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah, not many.
Because you're putting pressure on yourself now.
Yeah.
You have to do more thinking. But hey, that's another topic. Right?
Yeah.
That's another topic. Because that's very interesting, Kirby, because once you do that, you're taking a chance. Either you're gonna lose this game because you're trying to be positive, right? Because, you know, like declaring 150 for 8, right? And like that is, to me, that's a big gamble. But they only done that because of the rain or the rain stuff, and they was hoping to get some early wickets, which didn't happen. But like I said, that's a gamble. Like I really don't. I can't ask these guys why they done it, but
That's why you do it. It's a gamble, regardless.
it's a gamble. So
Every time you don't have the cup and you have the clear, it's a gamble.
yeah, and you just gotta hope that it works. And if it don't work, sometimes the coach, everybody's looking at them. If you don't do it, the first thing they say, well, why you didn't clear earlier? So you can't really win.
It's always after the game that there's questions. Yeah. But you're right. You guys are right, because hindsight is always 20/20. But had they got early wickets, 2 more wickets, then it would have been a good thing. Even if the result would have been the same, it would have been a good thing. But it didn't work out, as you said, Doc. Any other questions, Doc?
No, that's all. The question would be to some of these St. George's coaches, but I'm not her. You got to get them one. Dean is going to answer no
We're working towards there. We're working and in all fairness, I mean, if you look at it, 2 teams are playing. It's worked out for one and not worked out for the other. And always the challengers have to take the biggest chances. That Jacoby has said. When he was playing without the cup, you've got to take chances. And, you live by it and you die by it, because you take those chances. And a lot of people probably would never forgive you or forget you for that.
That's right.
I mean, how many times, Jacoby, every time cup match comes around, you get chastised about the early giving up the game. And how long ago was that? many. But people remember that more than they remember the fact that you got these amount of wickets. You put yourselves in a position to almost win a few times. But none of that, all of that goes out the door.
That Azim Pitcher was Bill bunted the ball twice and all that. And St. George was like that's not the video to them. That we like Clay Smith and Charlie just poking the life of me. And the line to come and St. George had a great team back then.
Right.
Like it wasn't no slouch. It wasn't like you're getting these guys done. It wasn't that easy. I would like to see that team, that St. George's team of like 04 to 8, 04 to 10 around that time against this team right there. Against the 2012 team.
Right.
I would love to see that. There we can see who's who.
Right. Let me just share something with you guys, because I think a lot of people overlook something. Somerset won the cup in 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just go back to when this all started. In 1912, St. George's won by inning at 20 runs. In 1913, St. George's won by 73 runs. Now listen to this. In 1914, Somerset won by 10 wickets. 1915, Somerset won by 36 runs. 1916, Somerset won by 80 runs. 1917, Somerset won by 3 wickets. 1918, Somerset won by 94 runs. 1990, Somerset won by 56 runs. And then in 1920, St. George's won, and in 21, the match was abandoned due to rain. But if you look at that, Somerset dominated from 1914 right through to 1919, with St. George's winning twice, and then Somerset won it back again in 1923. So history kind of repeating itself in regards of who dominates at this time of the century. So, hey,
is it over
hopefully
yet?
It changes.
Is it over yet?
No, I'm just saying, is it over, right?
Huh?
They only got a couple more years.
Let me just go.
You keep saying, you said from 1914 to 19, how much?
Yeah.
How much time more we're gonna do this thing?
1924, mate. 24.
1920, from 1914 to 1924.
Yes, George's won twice in between there, but Somerset won 8 years out of the 10.
And how much? What year we on now?
St. George's won once. I'm sorry, St. George's won once, and the other one was a rain out.
Now put it this way: in the last 9 years, you ain't won none. So,
Yeah. But Dean, the thing was, right? The rain out one was 1920. When we didn't play. I'm sorry, Devian was 1920. We didn't play.
Oh, wow, you was in trouble. Too bad, Clem. You missed your turn.
So you got 3 more years, 3 more years of this, Dean. If history repeats itself.
Shit,
That's
I
right.
tell you that.
Minimum.
Hey, look, Kirby, I tell you don't play because of the pandemic. All right, I got a quick one with the because I you know the general public and everything I get there, right? The highs and lows of cup match. What were some of the highs for you as a coach, Kirby, and what were some of the lows?
The highs, first of all, is just being there, just being a part, and like I told Taryn early in the message that it was great to feel respected from the team, because sometimes it's hard to get the respect from players that you play with, because they could easily be like, you didn't do this when you was playing, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But guys respected me and listened, because I feel that I've achieved a lot in this game locally and internationally, and that was a very high for me that guys gave me that respect, right? And to do it with my uncle, and watching my little cousin play, it felt like a real family affair,
Wow.
So that was something good for me and good for my family. And also to just watch these guys, what we talk about in meetings, just work out for us, right? That's amazing. And just get, like I said, almost a 2-1, that would have topped it right off for me.
Yeah.
But the lows obviously would be the way we started. That was a low. LJ not getting 50, that was a low for, again, we go back to family. And then obviously the skirmish that was on the field. We as a club, we keep our standards high, and yes, it happened. It was talked about. It was apologized upon, and we move on. We let guys know that what happened is unacceptable, and the individuals put their hand up and apologize for whatever they did, and we move on. We allow the club to do whatever they have to do in our post-mortem, and we talk about it, and that will be it. It doesn't make sense harping on it. It happened, it's dealt with, and now we move on.
Taryn, what were some of the highs, and from a captain's point of view to a player, what were some of the highs and lows for you?
Yeah, some of the highs for me were Malachi getting his 50th wicket in cup match. That was, like I said in the speech, that's big. That's a big
Yeah.
Chris and his maiden 100. It was nice to see. Myself and Trey already have our maiden 100, so it was nice to have another one in this current team to come to the 100 club. So that was another big one for me. I was happy. Chris is a good mate of mine. We live close to each other. We don't speak as often outside of cup match, but we do live in the same somewhat neighborhood, and it's just nice to see him. We grew up playing youth cricket together, being opening partners the whole way through. So it was a great feeling to watch him get his 100. So that was a high for me. And another high was just seeing how well the team done under my watch when Jordan was absent. And like I said, it made me feel proud as a player to know that even with a man down, we could still hang tough and be strong. And like Kirby said, some of the lows for me was of course the incident on the field. Outside of that was pretty much just it. I never like to see matches being affected by rain. I thought that played a big part in how the game went in the end, but that is not something that I enjoy. I hate the rain, even when I'm not playing cricket. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, it was definitely more highs than lows for me.
Yeah.
Let's take another quick commercial break. When we come back, Doc, you're up. We'll be right back.
We're spotlighting our old friends Woodstock Farms, who started up 50 years ago in the belief that we need more trustworthy natural food sources. Starting with one product, their line, mostly certified organic, is now more than 250 strong in 10 categories. This month we're featuring accoutrements of the barbecue, for us the pinnacle of home cuisine and one of the few forms of restorative recreation now within our reach. Try Woodstock Organic Sweet Relish, Tomato Ketchup, Baby Kosher Dill Pickles, Sauerkraut, and Hickory and Original Barbecue Sauce. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Doc?
Yeah. Now I got a question for Taryn or Jacoby. Either one of you guys could answer it. With Jordan's situation, I know he hasn't played the final trial and he didn't play between a couple of games. And then I see cup match, he was off after half an hour or whatever. Didn't you guys, now maybe you could answer this, Jacoby, didn't you guys like in the team meeting like discuss, like, just say he was like I don't know if you gave him like some, well, my thing is you can't, like, normally if you don't play the final trial, you don't play. So in this case, did you guys speak to Jordan like the week before to find out exactly how he was? Because it did look kind of bad, like going off after an hour. I'm not too sure what happened. I know the guy said he had asthma, he had that, but apparently this has been going on for a week. So how you guys arrived at like picking him?
So I know he showed up to the final cup match trial, being on Sunday, right? So we mentioned it to the president. We told him this and this the situation. What do you want to do? And we made a decision collectively that it's best that he doesn't play because he wasn't feeling well. Because of the times that we're in, Jordan wanted to play. Let me say this straight across the board. It's not once did he say that I don't want to play. He's like, listen, I'm playing, type of thing. But because of the times that we're in, and COVID and all of that type of stuff, this was a little bit different in how we handled it. I'm playing cup match with the flu. I'm playing final trials with the flu, right? But this time around, that's like a no-no. We don't do that. So because it was a different time, we made a decision. And then coming to the game now, it wasn't our decision. As you guys know, I don't know if you know, but I know Dean knows that this year we had a doctor there because of protocols and the concussion rule and all of that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a matter of, how can I put it? Of again, him not wanting to play, is that he, I'm fine. I'm doing what I'm playing. I'm captain my team. I'm doing as but the doctor now got involved and was like, listen, this could go left. You might not feel it, but it could go left. So that's why you would have seen him go on and off, on and off, on and off. And then it came to a point like, listen, is it really worth keeping you on right now? No. But if it got down to the nitty gritty and then he would have went back on. But because he was in such a comfortable space, we decided to just leave more of a like terror on the team. I think if it wasn't just COVID and all that stuff, I believe he would have played in the final trial, and I believe he would have played the Euro Cup match.
Yeah, that was my next question. I saw the doctor. I was wondering why the doctor was there, but now that you explained that because of the COVID, I thought it was to do with that there too, because I did see the doctor come on the field a few times, but that was good. But like you said, so that explains why. And Taryn, I think you done a really good job in your boy's absence, man. I gotta give you kudos because it's not easy. It's not. I mean, well, you've done it before, but it's not easy. Captaining a team on cup match. It's a lot of things. I'm sure you guys had your game plans, but I thought you done an exceptional job on the field. And tell you the truth, we kind of didn't miss Jordan because you handled it so good. I think you done a really good job stepping in as vice captain. Anyway.
Thank you.
Dean?
Taryn, got a question for you. I want to know, what is it that you do? Because I think a lot of youngsters will find this very fascinating. Last cup match that you played, you had low scores. All right. You came into cup match and you scored 100. All right. And then I guess I found what your secret was, because I was coming from St. David's and I saw you just running. Right. This was prior to cup match and everything like that.
Mhm.
What is it that you do to sort of mentally prepare yourself to almost it's almost, for me, it's almost like you turn this knob and you turn it on. What is it that it's got to be something that you do? What is it that you do?
That's a hard question. I don't know. I always take cricket serious, and like I told you before, I try to prepare the same for all of my matches, whether it's a club match or a cup match. Sometimes there was a point in time where I used to struggle with a little bit of like pre-match anxiety.
Okay.
And that comes with wanting to do well, you know. So, but there are people that I talk to, like I'll call certain people and just have conversations and just to get my mind away from cricket, you know, and they'll remind me who I am as a person, you know, what I've already accomplished in my life, as a human being, and things like that. So that's some of the things that I do. But again, like for me, running was something that I had picked up just this year, um, getting myself ready for the season initially. Um, I was a little bit overweight. I do it for myself, so it was a motivating thing for me to, you know, try and lose some weight. But I ended up starting to really like it, and I'm on this little what's it called? The Nike app. So you have all your mates on there, and you know people post how long they're running for and how many miles, and then it becomes a competition. And like all of us here, it's all competition, you know. So you know I'm in a group with Keishan Bean, and
Okay.
I tell Bean, you're not running more miles than me this week.
No
And that's where
way.
that comes from, you know what I'm saying? So I wake up in the morning and I look on the Nike app, and Keishan's ran X amount of miles that night. So
No
I gotta
way.
run more that day, you know. So it's like that, and that's something that I feel like it's helped me. It's helped my cricket a lot, you know. It's helped my overall fitness, of course, but
Wow.
mentally, it's put me in a better place because you
Yeah.
see the results, and physically, I look better and I feel better, you know.
Okay.
So, but for when it comes to cup match, you know, I stay in my room. I try and get my rest. I don't do too much. Um, I'm not a morning person. I'm not the type of person that gets up early in the morning. So I'm stretching it right out. I'm getting breakfast 20 minutes before the bus, stuff like that. So there's no real secret to it, but I do try to stay in my lane and do what I'm comfortable doing.
Yeah. Taryn, how much has golf helped you concentrate?
I've got my mate Sammy Robinson sitting right next to me. My man is
So you can't lie, right?
Yeah, I can't lie right now, but it is. I mean, it's definitely helped me to focus a lot more, because I'm watching myself start as a very terrible golfer to now I would say I'm pretty steady for myself. You know, we played in a tournament this morning, but it's helped my cricket a lot. It's helped my timing a lot. It's helped me to watch the ball, and I think the biggest thing that it's helped in my cricket is patience. You know, because you're learning a new sport, you have to be patient. You have to understand. Like I'm failed more times in golf than I'm succeeded. You know, and that's helped me to deal with failure a lot now in my cricket. I don't get as upset in cricket as I used to if I don't do as well as I want. You know, so the golf has done, you know, leaps and bounds for me both for the sport and mentally for the sport.
Mm. Have another question, Doc?
Yeah, that's good because you know why you say that, Taryn? That's strange because even though golf's an individual sport, you know, you're out there on your own. It's not like a team sport, so you're on your own. So you have to really concentrate. And it's surprising you said that because Trey was actually playing tennis. Like, and I'm like, so even tennis, it's the same thing. Like his cousin signed him up in tournaments playing up Princess, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Trey, yeah. And when you look, he's got a tennis racket, he's got this, but
Yeah.
that's all fit. It's all fitness and his hand and eye coordination.
Yes.
So I think that kind of helped him out a lot too. Because remember, the last cup match he didn't play, he was injured, so he didn't play too much cricket.
Yeah.
And he was probably one of the guys, and Trey's bullet, he was probably one of the guys that this year, a cup match was canceled. His head was soaking, another 2 or 3 years I'm gonna miss. I said, yeah, but it gives you more time. But he been outside playing tennis and enjoyed it. And I think that kind of helped him out a bit too.
Man,
I would say I watched him play his first ever match, and when I saw him play a game maybe 2 months later, I saw a big improvement. Footwork, the hand-eye coordination, just his ability to understand angles a little more. So I think that would really help his cricket, in the long run, because with the tennis you got to learn how to play sometimes with soft hands, sometimes with hard hands, which as a cricketer you have to adjust to really quick.
Yeah. And then again, see, that's all individual sports. So if you fail, it's on you. It's not the team. So it's something you got to think about. It's all those little individual sports, like even getting up running ones. It's strange Terrence said that, because when my first couple of years, I used to hate running too, but then I came a runner after I playing cup match.
That's right.
Fitness. But it's sometimes you got to do things on your own, and a lot of other players do the same thing. They have to do something on your own. But that's interesting. I didn't know you was playing golf though.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry, let me ask you this question. On the app, can you cheat? Because I know some guys have got dogs and they'll tie that thing to the dog's leg and then the dog will run the run.
That's me.
Hey, you can't, because I'm convinced. You guys under, and I'm convinced these guys ain't running. There's a month of miles in a week.
I strap that to the dog and let you go.
It's a secret outside.
That makes sense. Hey, Dean, I've got a question for you, Dean. Can this be considered a 2-to-1, to be honest?
No, the racket says 10 wickets. The racket says 10 wickets.
No.
Nope.
You ain't taking me down like that. And first of all, and the other thing is, right, Earl, can you do a clothing check before anybody comes on your show from now on?
Well, if we're in Arsenal colors.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a clothing check that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I'm strictly
We'll
Spurs,
have,
right?
hey, we'll have Dennis sort him out soon.
Yeah, get that sorted. But
I've got a question for Kirby and Taryn.
Yeah.
Kirby, how did you guys feel safe like within the bubble and all the pre-testing and everything else? How do you guys feel about how that's first time playing under that and a cup match? Like, I'm just thinking, like, we don't know how next year is gonna be. So, with like 4,000 people, and I tell you what, from my point, 4,000 as a spectator was good because I got to do everything. Normally if it's too much people, you can't get to the toilet, you can't do this. But 4,000
there was no 4,000 people at that game.
Second day.
It was no 4,000 people at that game. At any day.
You think it was more in it?
Yeah, where were you, right?
You didn't think second day? You didn't think second day was 4,000?
Well, you was up a Skyview or something? 4,000.
Hey.
Let me share them a picture of another cup match, man.
He was bringing the swizzle.
Doc, you gotta stop.
But how you guys think with your COVID? Like how
it was good, but I guess myself, I know Freya vaccinated as well, right? I'm fully vaccinated, so
yeah,
it wasn't too hard for me. But yeah, we had 2 tests, I believe, 3 tests. So the process was smooth. I give Summers is going to start at something now that the players enjoy. That we check the early. It gave us a little bit more time to gather. So that's going to St. George checked in on Wednesday. So we created our own little bubble per se, and moving forward, they can't go back now. So this is going to be the standard moving forward. So it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's only going to be better for us and the team with the harmony that we already have. We're just going to get stronger and stronger, and we can now utilize other things and do more things. Maybe some more, maybe video work, and come to find out, I didn't even know all this happened. Certain stats that the umpires take, whether it be how long's the water break, how long this guy's taking to get to the wicket, all them type of things come to light now with the data. And now I can see that we could use that also to share with the guys, and that gives us an extra day to get that information out. So we know exactly what we're working with as when it comes to time. And let's say we know that it's not now 14 hours, it's actually 13 hours and 20 minutes. So just because of the data. So that's a good thing. And I think St. George has done very well on hosting the cup match. I think they've done a very good job. I think Somerset will follow suit next year. I don't think that things are going to change that much in a year. But I think it's good that we're trying to be safe, and I think we just upload that standard.
Yeah, Earl, I just want to also commend both of you. I mean, I don't know who is responsible for doing this, but I heard I had a number of senior people come to me and make mention of you guys wearing the blazer. Wearing the blazer. Well, I mean, you have to wear the blazer to the presentation. Wearing it in the middle, or a moment of silence, and just traditionally wearing it, during different important times. So I wanted to pass on the message just to let you guys know that it is being recognized.
Mm-hmm. That's been happening now for I would say 10 years about, I believe.
Okay.
When Mike came in and Jacon came in, and my uncle, I think we wanted to change what we was doing wasn't working.
Right.
So
okay.
Let's try to do things different. That's one of the things.
Switching in. Okay.
And it's things outside of cricket. Like, you understand, there's a lot of sportsmen. If things are going well off the field, they
yes.
come to the field.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Us having lunches, us having dinners, us dressing up before the game, polo shirts, khaki pants, shoes. Bringing up a level of professionalism to the game. Yes, wearing our blazers out for the men of silence. That just puts cup match on a level. And I think that's a mental win we get before balls even build. So kudos to Japan and my uncle and Mike for putting that together.
Hey, hold on. That started. You want me to give you a nice scenario, a nice story of how old it started? It was your uncle, but it was 4 other people, prominent people that was behind that move. Mm-hmm. Remember, let me give you something real quick. Jacoby, you remember when Chacon took over, captain, right? I think St. George's, I don't know if they lost or drew. You remember?
We lost.
Gilly dropped that catch or something. Something happened like that. Anyway, and they ended up losing the game. Mm-hmm. So shortly after that, Chacon came to me, Jeff, and some other prominent members, some of the people, and players, like former players. So we had a meeting, and listen to this, in January or February. I'm going to give you the names: John Tucker, Molly Simons, Jeff Richardson, Albert Steed, right? Myself. We all had this meeting just to get, this is 2012. We had it at game time. The whole 6 hours. And all we done, and Chacon was there, he just wanted to take the team at another level. Because, he's getting tired of losing. So George was winning, and this and that. So 2012, when we met at game time, I remember it was in the night time, and we stayed there for about 2 hours, just having a meeting. Normally Albert Steed, you don't see Albert to cup match and all that there. But he came, I remember Albert was the main person behind there too. And we had a meeting and a discussion. This is in January, February. So when cup match came around, we met with the players, right? And we came, Albert came, everybody came, but that's when I was helping Jeff out the first 2 years coaching. And we just put this to the team, right? This is what we want. You know, Albert came, Albert took him for runs, he spoke. And let me show you how this is strange. You guys talk about Chris, right? You know how Chris is.
Yeah.
Chris says, this is first time I'm done any running up for cup match. And, you know, just, and so we was like, we knew we was going to get that from Chris, right? But we wanted to keep the harmony in the team. So guess what? Chris ended up running, came in the top 5, and after the training, he enjoyed it so much. And this is like, this, I'm saying, sheesh, I got Chris on board. Now, once you get guys like, and Malachi and Odin, you get these guys on board, it's going to make it easier. And from since then, you know, when we guys they meet and we discuss everything, those guys have been together since, and that's when
Okay,
that's
thank,
when
okay, sorry. Thank you,
start
Doc.
winning.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Albert. Thank you, Molly. Sorry. I did.
You never knew that, Kirby?
I never knew that. So
Seriously?
that was after my time.
No, that's before your time. You was playing then.
That was after my time. Meaning
Oh,
that
but
I
you
was
stopped.
captain before that.
Oh, you stopped before that.
I stopped being captain before that. Now my
So when
captain
you
at
stopped-
23, you know, 23 years old.
No, I'm saying, when did you stop playing? 2011 or 12?
16.
Yeah, but you still playing. Yeah.
No, I'm saying that was after me being captain. So
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
have any involvement in it.
Yeah. So like I said, it's something, you know, sometimes you got to get, when guys, you know, Chicon wanted to help me, and he says he's tired of losing, you know. I'm glad that most of the guys took that aboard. I mean, since then, you had no trouble with a lot of those guys in the
Back
team,
then,
man.
it was a struggle. It was a struggle. Like, again, me being so young, and if I would have had that support that he has now,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
who knows what it could have been. But
Mm.
everything happens for a reason, and everything happens in its time. So, yeah.
Dean, I already told you when our turn's coming, right? When our turn's coming, right?
Huh?
I already told you when our turn.
Yeah,
We're just gonna be patient. We're just
Don't
gonna
give
be
Dean
patient.
too much information.
Hey, I put a post up, you know, on the WhatsApp, you know, on my little thing. I said it's coming home. Somebody sent it back. Really?
It's coming in.
Because that's English
Yeah.
thing, and they took it out.
Yeah, it's coming
I
in.
wouldn't even start that.
I will never use that slogan again in my life.
Hey,
I ain't know that
Kirby,
right now.
the last program we had with him,
Yes,
Clay, and
yes,
all those
yeah.
guys, said somebody's coming home. I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
I ain't saying nothing.
I didn't say what was coming home. I just said it's coming home.
It came in all right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You
Hey,
was
hey,
number
Taryn,
21.
And Taryn, I want a piece of you on the golf course. I'm letting you know that right now. If I can't beat you in cricket, I'm taking you on the golf course.
All right, cool.
Did you tell them what
Right.
we were just talking about earlier today about this day after cut back? But see, it's been so many VNs and then this little kid and all that type of stuff. Like, anyway, tell them what you were saying. Tell them what you said.
In regards to what?
We could play
About
putt
day
golf.
after cut match. Yeah,
Sorry?
day after cut match. Like players, ex-players should get together. and
Yeah, we're
play
looking at
golf
that.
for-
Oh yeah. We
Well,
should. That should become a thing.
Yeah.
Because I played. I got the privilege to play in that cup match golf tournament on the Sunday before cup match.
Oh,
That's
but
that's amazing.
But the former cup match players, you know, our association, our charitable association, right? That, you know, Jacoby and Doc is a part of. Just waiting on a membership dues, but they're a part of. So
I got to give it to you.
we're gonna be going ahead and putting on different functions and different things like that. So guys will be a part of it. So when you finish playing, you just come over and you join us, and you know what I mean. We reminisce about those old times and all. You know what I mean. You know how it
We
goes.
could probably schedule
And,
a
hey,
game of
And
foreign-
Taryn, you start telling stories that really weren't true. You know, yes, that great catch I took. Did I really take that great catch? And then, you know, that sort of stuff. But thanks, guys. Thank you so much for this evening. I know you guys got to go. Earl, do you have to go?
Yeah. Well, I want to again thank you guys for joining us, and again, congratulations to Somerset. We'll see you in the West End. We'll see you in the West End come next year. as the two teams are going to battle yet again. The good thing is that it's only two teams going to battle, and eventually there's got to be another win for the other team, which is St. George's sometime soon. Not to worry, Jacoby, not to worry. I already read out how history has gone in the 1900s. Now what to the 2000s.
We're getting close.
It's getting their time. It's getting their time. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, folks. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Island Stats Sports Show, Cricket Show, right here on IslandStats.com. Enjoy the rest of your night.